Hello friends, so today I am going to talk about Ladakh half marathon. I completed this Ladakh half marathon 2 years back. That was in September 2022. It was my first half marathon at Ladakh, and I completed with a timing of 2 hours and 24 minutes. So I am going to share few tips for those runners who are going to Ladakh for the first time, and those who have already been there, they are familiar and they may not benefit much from this. So the main points you should keep in mind when you are trying to run a half marathon Ladakh. Number one is endurance, and then obviously you should have done a few half marathons before running your half marathon Ladakh. And once you have the endurance to finish 21 kilometers, and you have done it 4 or 5 times in a good amount of time, you are ready to do Ladakh half marathon also. The second and the most important point is acclimatization, because it is at a it is a high altitude, and as you know, people can suffer from altitude sickness, where there can be mild symptoms like headache, drowsiness, nausea, and in severe conditions, even persons can have seizures, unconsciousness, breathing problem, and things like that. So one should be very careful. So this altitude problems can occur in anyone, but not everyone gets it. So there is some kind of genetic predisposition where some people are more prone to it, some are less prone to it, and it depends on how quickly one ascends to Ladakh. So if you go by flight, let's say from Delhi or some planes, and then suddenly at a high altitude, then the chance of getting altitude sickness is much more compared to those who are biking or going by road and then taking halts. So if they take little longer time while ascending, then the risk is lower. There are also few medications like Diamox, which can be taken before ascending to Ladakh. Obviously, it's a prescription drug, and you should discuss with your doctor before starting this medication. And so that also helps in reducing the risk of high altitude sickness. And this also means that you should go, or you should reach Ladakh a few days earlier. So for the first timers, it may be better to reach at least 4 or 5 days before the actual run, and for some 2 or 3 days may be also enough, but at least not less than 3 days before the actual run. So if you are running on Sunday, you should plan to reach there on Tuesday or Wednesday, or the latest by Thursday. So this gives you more time to get acclimatized, because symptoms are more on the first 24 to 48 hours, and then you'll get used to the altitude. The third factor to keep in mind is the cold. So in September, it is not that cold, but definitely you'll feel little cold. So when the runs start, it may be around 16 to 18 degrees, but it quickly warms up. So it's not that you need a jacket while running. There are many people I found them with the jackets, but once you run say 1 or 2 kilometers, your body generates heat, and then and also sun comes out, so you don't need any warm clothes after that. Just your t-shirt should be enough. And but at the start of the run, it is indeed cold. So so that first 10 to 15 minutes you have to watch for. In 22 there was also a little bit of drizzle, so that made it little cooler, but within the first 2 kilometers it was not cold at all. And one more thing to keep in mind is the elevations along the route. So it is not a plain, it's hills. So initially you are actually descending and with little bit elevations, but after the 16th or the 17th kilometer, the last 3 to 4 kilometers, except the last half a kilometer, it is quite a bit of elevation. So if you have a lot of energy, don't spend all of them in the beginning. Keep some energy for the last 4 or 5 kilometers, because that is like, it's a continuous 3 kilometers up, and you should have some energy left to do that. I found that most people were walking on that stretch. It is all right if you just want to finish and enjoy it, but if you're also trying to look for the timing, so maybe you can keep some energy for that, so that you can keep running at a lower pace and not start walking. One more tip I should give you is that the air is quite dry in that area, so your lips and tongue and the mouth actually dries up quite fast, and so you'll feel like drinking water, but the trick there is not to actually drink the water. So just have some sips of water and keep moistening your lips and the tongue, So keep them moist. That is better than drinking, because once you keep drinking, you will be actually drinking more than what you require. And these tips were given by the army jawans who were who are very helpful. Locals give a lot of support, so they'll give you lots of dates and nutrition and juices, so that's not an issue. And also the army jawans will carrying this jugs and mugs of water, and they were telling that just moisten your lips and tongue, and that helps quite a lot. And regarding the timing, obviously it's a little difficult terrain because you're going in that cold weather and then higher altitude elevations, and just the atmosphere and little bit of anxiety of running in the dark. So all these things will push your timing little lower. So let's say in Mumbai or Delhi or these cities with planes, if you are doing, let's say, at a pace of 6:30, so add about half a minute per kilometer to that. So you should aim for about 7 minutes per kilometer there. And those who are doing at 6, maybe they can plan for 6:30. So roughly about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes extra you may take from your timings in your own cities. And people in Hyderabad, because we are used to running on elevation, so elevation is out of equation for us mostly. But I know that in Kolkata, Mumbai, and Delhi, the normal running on the roads do not have much elevations. So you should practice maybe in areas where you have elevation, or if you don't have access, possibly use a treadmill incline to practice elevations, because as I said, the last 3 to 4 kilometers is a significant continuous elevation on that. But overall, I want to tell you that it's not a very difficult run. Almost all of you who have run a half marathon can easily finish it, and that's what matters most. Timings do not matter more, and then you'll meet runners from all over the places, even international runners, lot of local Ladakhi runners. They are very good because they grow up in that hilly terrains, and they will just zip past you, and then so that is something great. There'll be a lot of army people also running besides you. They're also very good in running, so it's a good inspiration, good motivation. And always keep a few days before the event and after that to visit the local places, because it's a beautiful Leh is a beautiful city. There are a lot of other places to visit around. There are some places to trek also, and I'm sure you'll come back with a lot of happy memories. I hope you liked it, and please share your comments or queries. Thank you.